if you think, well, I definitely want this, I definitely want this form factor, and you want to go cheaper still, then I've got a suggestion for you, which is the Moan InkPalm. And the Moan InkPalm is actually a device that I've enjoyed using no end. I really have enjoyed using the Moan InkPalm. And again, I've pretty much just installed Kindle on it, and that's about it. I had to install Gboard, you know, it was quite a little workaround. Don't buy this from AliExpress and expect it to be, well, load up and you've got Google Play, because you don't have Google Play. So I had to install F-Droid and then Aurora and then Kindle, and you know, but now it works in Kindle, and here it is. Let's download something. I mean, I have been reading things on it, but it just hasn't defaulted to anything there. I've read on this for a little while, so I've been testing other things. But you can see it's a fair bit smaller, so a fair bit less on the page. But there we are. You can see the animations, the page turn animations aren't near as good. No, page turn animations are off, so I don't know why it is doing a page turn animation. The little Moan icon is actually a back button as well, which is nice. And you can use the volume keys to change the page, which again is a good thing. And yeah, it's smaller and lighter even than the Boox Palma is. It's one of the, I'm going to show you a fair few of these today, and it is one of the smallest and lightest of them all that I've used. And what I really like about this, and why I actually recommend this if you've got the inclination to deal with the not well ported software that you get, although it's got some English menus in there somewhere, terrible software, which is just not designed for Western consumption really. As long as you're happy to deal with that and get through that, then you get a small light e-reader that's inexpensive. About £80 is what I spent on this. It came with a little case as well, about £80, and you can really just chuck that in your pocket and not be precious about it at all. So I think it's a really good shout. If you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I just want to get into this, I kind of like the idea of this phone-sized e-reader thing, and I want something that I'm not going to have to be precious about, and I don't want to spend $280, well, you can just spend the $80 and get one of these. So I do think that's worth a shout, actually. If you're just thinking, yeah, tempted, maybe treat myself this year. I want to show you CPU-Z on it as well. I just downloaded it before this live stream today, and it's an Allwinner A23. So Allwinner is a first for me. I've never heard of Allwinner as a chip manufacturer. 4-core, 40 nanometer process. So it is a pretty ancient, a full decade old, this chipset is. It's got 4 cores, look, all of which can clock up to 1.8 gigahertz. There we go. So it is chugging along, frankly. But if all you want it to do is, yeah, you could install a few different things. You can install a few games from F-Droid or from Aurora Store, whatever you fancy, whatever you need. I'm not using a fingerprint reader on this, and the reason for that is just because, well, it doesn't have a fingerprint reader, but I'm not using a pin code on it because I'm just logged into Kindle, and that's all. So if somebody were to grab this from me, then sure, they could read some books on it. I don't even think they could buy books on it, as it's the Android app. And there was one other thing I noticed in the CPU-Z was this is Android 8 on here. So if you're interested in the Android versions, well, the Palma is certainly a more recent Android than what we've got on a lot of other e-ink devices. The first Palma 1, is Android 11. So Android 13 on Palma 2 is one of the big upgrades that they've got there as well. So if you want to keep a simple e-reader, just to slip into your pocket. Before I did the live stream, I made sure everything's charged up, ready to go and everything, and it was reporting 100% when I turned it on. So I did that thing, I don't know if you remember, but old Android used to do this quite a lot, and it was reporting 100%, and actually it was empty pretty much. It was like 0%. And so, I must have left it charged, and then it died a few moments later. Then it charged up very, very quickly, and it was back now to 95. And actually, the battery life has been really quite good there. It's just optimized to be nice and low power, and it does work quite well. And as a travel e-reader, that's something I really enjoyed. Asking how the screen quality is there on the Moan. I don't actually know what e-ink version the Moan is, but the screen quality is fine. It's definitely, again, it's got a very large gap between the e-ink and the actual top of the screen. And I have noticed that a few times. It shipped with a screen protector, which I put on immediately without even thinking about whether I needed to or not. And then I decided quite quickly to take it off because it really just added another layer that you didn't need. And the layer on top is pretty shiny. It's not, you know, you can see, I'll just try and catch some reflections. Yeah, the layer on top is pretty shiny, so you do get some glare. If I should catch that same reflection there. It looks like it's impossible for you to read, but I can tell you that's less invasive to my eyes than that more specular glare of the light bulb there as well. You've just got to understand that this is not going to be the same experience if you want to do the other things that I've described you can do on the Palma. Of course, you can do anything you can download an app for on the Palma. If you're happy with that just to be your e-reader, then I think this is quite a good shout. Let's not just forget though that Boox gives you this amazing experience of e-ink. It is one of the best experiences of e-ink with their e-ink center. If you can be bothered to learn how to use these things here, then you do get really great experience of the e-ink refreshing without, it always does a full refresh when you come out of the e-ink center, I think you might have noticed. But if I go to something where I need to sort of scroll, yeah, I must be in a kind of HD mode there, don't need to be. So in balanced mode, you can see it still gets great clarity. I probably need to put the contrast up a little bit in this one. Still getting really great clarity there. Pretty smooth scrolling by e-ink standards. And if the scrolling bothers me, I can go into the ultra fast with very little loss of quality there, look. And it still does the amazing thing of just clearing out the white space. Any other device that doesn't have Boox Super Refresh or the Bigme Auto Clean, which is quite good at doing this, not quite as good, we'll do this in comparison to that later. Any other device that doesn't have that type of thing, you has to do that full refresh to clear out the white space. Okay, so yeah, the screen quality of the Palma is really good. You've only got a couple on the InkPalm, you've only got a couple of options, just text mode or graphics mode. There is no fast mode, and you've got contrast options there as well, text mode and graphics mode, which don't really do, you know, I'm just using it, like I say, as a reader, and so text mode is working just fine.